Police statistics show that almost half of all knife crime in London is being committed by children and teenagers. New figures from the Metropolitan Police show that almost half of all knife crime going on in London is now being committed by children and teenagers between the ages of 10 and 19. The Evening Standard reports, the police statistics show that 41% of those being caught for knife crimes across London's boroughs are now aged between 15 and 19. Another 8% are younger still, ranging in age from 10 to 14, in a further sign of how carrying and using blades has become part of life for a minority of troubled young people. The new figures come as a Scotland Yard chief warned that attacks in the capital were also becoming more ferocious as offenders who were more and more young tried to kill or injure by getting up close and stabbing someone several times. Knife crime in London has obviously reached a crisis point and it's becoming really disturbing. It seems that every day we're seeing new videos of these knife attacks happening in London appearing on our social media feeds, and new stories of teenagers being stabbed in our capital city, and of course new stories of Mayor Sadiq Khan announcing some new initiative completely unrelated to crime and just going on as normal. The videos that I've seen are really disturbing, and I know a knife attack is a knife attack and that they're all obviously deeply disturbing, but there's something particularly disturbing about the ones that you see in London. You see it in the videos. It's almost like these things are just totally random. They're totally mindless. It's just innocent people being stabbed on the street by gang members or just young people, deeply troubled young people. Every time I find myself in London now, I find myself looking over my shoulder, and we shouldn't feel like that in our capital city, our historic and beautiful capital city. We shouldn't be afraid to just be on the streets while we're there. Now, the head of the Met's Violent Crime Task Force told the press that the police are striving to tackle this problem in London. They're making some progress, actually, by upping the amount that they use stop and search. By the way, that's a tactic that Sadiq Khan wanted to end, has fought against, and still won't allow to be implemented in full. More plainclothes officers are being used and to help control the worst hit communities, but this crime is still going on and it's just getting worse. And the problem's not getting any better if almost half of these attacks are being committed by children. Can you imagine? Children, teenagers out on the streets with knives, committing these awful atrocities, destroying people's lives, destroying their own lives in the process. Obviously things aren't getting better in London. The head of the Met's Violent Task Force has said that the police in London are having to re-educate themselves on how to conduct stop and search after losing the art and the skill during the years when politicians told them it was racist to conduct stop and search, and also said that stop and search had been reduced to negligible levels over the years. And I would argue that this is part of the problem. This is the reason why we have people out in the street stabbing each other, and this is why new statistics show that almost half of all knife attacks in London are being committed by children and teenagers. A further 17% of those attacks were committed by people between the ages of 20 and 24, so still young people, meaning London's raising a whole new generation of violent gang members and criminals. What is the future for London, our capital city, if the mayor of our capital city hates the policing methods that have proven to work time and time again? If he hates stop and search, which has been proven to stop people going out stabbing each other? What's the future of London if we continue to ignore all these social cohesion problems? And what is the future of London if we don't get tough on violent gangs? Children are stabbing each other to death on the streets of our capital city, and Mayor Sadiq Khan is just looking the other way. We're not funded by the government, we don't have big sponsors, and we certainly don't have massive donors. If you'd like to help support our work, please go to rebeldonations.com/thebuck.